Hey, this is DOB Dynasty. This is episode 1. We're just going to go over some Dynasty fantasy football trade options and just kind of run over the running backs today. So we put up a little bit of a list of like some current running backs that we feel are important for the season. For instance, I have Christian McCaffrey. So like, what do you do with Christian McCaffrey in this league? So his usurpers would be like Isaac Guerrero and Jordan James. So Isaac Guerrero only started like 2 games last year, weeks 14 and 15 for him against the Bears, and that's where he scored his 2 touchdowns and his 135 total yards of the year. Jordan James is a fifth-round rookie out of Oregon. He's a small power back. He does have one cut ability, but no one's going to usurp Christian McCaffrey unless Kyle Shanahan actually gets smart benches or puts like a timeshare in for them. So he was underwhelming all last year. Obviously, he had an Achilles sprain, PCL sprain. He's getting older, but he wouldn't let him. I wouldn't let him go for like unless you're like not a contender. So you want to get rid of him if like you want a late first round for next year, just so you can build up for next year. Anything less than like a first round, I would probably keep him. He has a rushing-friendly schedule with three out of the four bottom 10 defenses in weeks 1 through 4, the first 4 weeks, and then weeks 15 through 18, the playoff weeks. For his prediction this year, I would at least predict a 1,200 all-purpose yards with probably 10 touchdowns. He's most likely going to miss some games this year, and I project it to be like in the middle of the season, about 3 or 4 games.
And my first running back was James Cook. He is on a contract year this year, and I do believe he will get re-signed, but I know he's being a little stubborn about it. He's trying to hold out. I feel like the biggest knock on James Cook right now is that Josh Allen takes a lot of runs himself and gets a lot of yards and touchdowns, but
touchdown.
Yeah. I was surprised actually just looking up his touchdowns on the year because he has a total of 18, 16 rushing and 2 receiving. His only competition in the backfield besides Josh Allen is Ray Davis. Is that his first name?
Yeah. Maybe
Ray Davis. Sweet baby Ray.
Sweet baby.
And he did kind of come along a little bit at the end of the year, but I still think it's just James Cook's job to lose. He's kind of the focal piece as a receiver and a running back since they still did not draft a receiver. And they lost Amari Cooper. Well, he's a free agent, but Amari Cooper is not on the team as of now. But I do think James Cook is a pretty good buy right now. He should be a little cheaper since he is going to be a free agent soon, but like I said earlier, I think he will be resigned. He had 38 targets last year, quite a bit for running back besides like some of the top tier ones.
And then I had Alvin Kamara. So as you can see, we're doing a little bit of, I got the old running backs, you got the young running backs, kind of mixed it in to see who, basically I think these are like pivotal people that you would need to be a contender or pivotal people that you need to build upon. So James Cook was one of those you want to build upon. Christian McCaffrey was one of those that you either want to stay if you're a contender or you wanted to trade to try to get extra picks for next year. Alvin Kamara is another one of those. His only usurpers would be Keandre Miller and Devin Neal. Also, they did sign Clyde Hilaire Edwards. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And he's basically Alvin Kamara is the only danger to losing his job. In my opinion, Keandre Miller gets hurt too much, and even if they do put him in, he's not going to get that much of a snap share we'll take from Alvin Kamara. Keandre Miller actually started 2 games last year, weeks 16 and 17. He did have a hamstring and concussion throughout the year. He may take the goal line carries just so that they kind of give Alvin Kamara a break. But I feel like Alvin Kamara will still, come out on top. He's obviously going to be a third down running back for any short yard or long yard. Doesn't matter where you are because he can still catch. Devin Neal is a 6th-round pick out of Kansas. They added him this offseason. He's had good field vision and patience. And then you never know with Clyde Edwards-Helaire. I don't know why they exactly traded for him. Maybe, or signed him. They may be trying to just, put him in just in case Alvin Kamara, because they're kind of, they're close enough to the same running back. They both do the same things. Obviously, Alvin Kamara is so much better. But
plus, if Kamara gets injured, there's big chance Keandre Miller will get injured as well.
Keandre Miller probably will get injured. He's pretty fucking durable, man. Like, he's still consistent. He's been top 5 in fantasy points for 4 in the past 5 years still, which is pretty incredible for him. He's not that big of a back, and he's just been durable. Like, barely any injuries get him. His most friendly schedule is at the weeks of 15 through 18. Once again, another playoff one, so that's why you would want to keep him, so that you can make that playoff push at the end of the year. I would put him as like a buy low, sell high. I think the best you can get would be like an early second. And then he's good for package deals. So if you have enough people where you want to get like a higher first round, you can package him into a deal so you can get what you want. I would predict a little dip in his running or just in his overall game this year just because he's getting older. So about, 1,000 all-purpose yards with like 6 touchdowns, because the Saints ain't going to score any touchdowns this year, let's be honest. The Saints are a trash team right now. Sorry for all the Saints fans. Like, buried in there. So, let's just be honest. Saints are not that good right now.
I think one of the biggest issues with Alvin Kamara is not just his age, is just the lack of quarterbacks that they have there. So I believe they will load the box.
Tyler Show. Let's see what you can get.
My next running back is Bucky Irving. He is the youngest running back I will talk about today. So, in the Dynasty community, he's already ranked pretty high up there.
In the Tampa community, he is like, we are in for it, and he is like, everybody is in love with Bucky.
Yes.
I don't know if you've seen the memes on IG, but there are a lot.
I mean, rightfully so. He's a good player.
Yes.
He didn't start the entire year yesterday, but he still finished with 1,112 yards. He had 207 carries, which actually was the same amount of carries as James Cook last year. He had 8 rushing touchdowns. He had a lot of targets, actually. I didn't know he had 52 targets last year.
Okay.
Yeah, and he caught 47 of those. No receiving touchdowns. I think Mike Evans and all of them probably just scored all those touchdowns. He's a good red zone threat. I guess this isn't a stat. This is more of an opinion for me. I do feel like he might dip a little bit next season. I don't think he's going to be considered like a bust. I just don't think he's going to be considered a top 10 fantasy running back. Only in the fact that I believe their new OC is a very pass-heavy guy, and since he is an offense coordinator now, he got a promotion. So I don't think he wants to miss his time with Mike Evans and Chris Godwin. So I do think, especially in the red zone, I think he might dip down a bit. But he is very durable. He's very strong. He's very fluid in the backfield.
Those one cuts get.
Yeah, he's a good one cutback. He did finish the year with 221 fantasy points, and he averaged 13.05 points a game. He played a top 10 defense 4 times last year, and he went over 15 points 2 of those. And I can't remember the full scores in the playoffs, but I did notice, especially in the playoffs, he did dip down pretty tremendously.
Were you paying for behind?
That's what I can't remember. I should have probably wrote that down.
Check us on that. Yes. Doing our best, man. Doing our best. DOB Dynasty.
Episode 1.
Episode 1.
But he did not score in the playoffs. He did break 100 total yards in the playoff game, but no touchdown for him. But for me, Bucky Irving, I think he is a good buy. We are going to go over a trade that happened in our league with Bucky Irving, but I would buy Bucky Irving, but be cautious though, just because I don't know what the state of the Buccaneers will be in about a year or two, and it seems like with any position, running backs go the quickest, like peaking wise,
For sure. Like 3 great years solid, and then
yeah. It might not even be his fault. It could just be a team situation. Who knows what they're going to do with Baker and the 2 aging receivers. But I think he should still have a good year next season. But Like I said, we'll talk about the Bucky Irving trade in a little bit.
Yeah. All right, so my last running back that I had was Nick Chubb. So I love Nick Chubb, and I feel so bad for that guy, man. His knee got shredded in 2015 in college, and now it got shredded again in 2023. He is behind Joe Mixon on the Texans now. I think they just wanted him just to, take a little bit of carries. I don't think he's going to do anything crazy this year. He might be goal line carries, but as far as that, I think he might be done, man. Like, it sucks. I really like that guy. He came out and he showed out for like 4 or 5 years, and then it's just injuries, man. It just gets to you. For me, I think he's worth an early third at the most, just because, like, even if you are a contender, like you would want to trade like a third round. Like I wouldn't go anything above like second round. Maybe like if you really want to push it a 2027 second, like 2 years ahead or whatever, and see what the guy says or counter offers or whatever. But that's kind of the problem is Nick Chubb might be like a little bit more expensive just because of this pass. But you can always bring up like the past 2 years he's been injured. So he's just going downhill. Feel bad for the guy. Honestly, I still would predict 2 games out of the year this year that he is going to actually have significant fantasy points where he can win you a week. Like he will have like a 2 touchdown game in probably 2 of those games. That way you'll get like those 2 week surprises and that can help you win that week. That week might make you to the playoffs. So it's a tough call, but I wouldn't let him. I wouldn't trade for him for anything more than the third. Like I might consider 2027 second, but it would have to be like he has shown that he can't get injured this year, and he's been consistent.
And the next running back I'm going to talk about is Kyren Williams. In my opinion, he is a very consistent player. He's been on the Rams for 3 seasons, starting 2 of them. He has, I wouldn't say an injury history, but he definitely has a reoccurring ankle issue. He is also, just like James Cook, on a contract season. This one I'm not really sure if he is going to get extended or not. And if he does, I can see it be in a very small deal, small amount of years. I don't think Sean McVay is in love with re-signing running backs anymore after Todd Gurley.
This guy's a Rams.
All right. Last season he did, even though he missed 3 games, well, two games and a half, but he finished the year with 1,300 rushing yards, which finished 3rd in the league. He had 14 rushing touchdowns, which was 4th in the league. He had 40 targets, catching 34 of them, and he had only 182 yards, so a lot of behind the line catches. Not really much of a route runner. He had 2 receiving touchdowns, so he totaled 16 total touchdowns. He finished 7th in points among running backs, averaged 15.94 points a game. He had 316 rush attempts, which was 3rd in the league, so he's definitely the bell cow as of now. Did have a few fumbles, mainly in the playoffs. Not too many in the during the year. He had a total of 3 fumbles in the year, but 2 were in 1 game in the playoffs. So that's kind of the reason why I'm not 100% sure if he will get re-signed. And they have drafted 2 running backs in back-to-back years, later rounds, but still something to worry about. I know this isn't everybody's go-to, but everybody will go to this page just to reference stuff. On Keep Trade Cut, he was ranked the 12th running back in fantasy football. He did play a top 10 defense 5 times, and he had 15 points or more two or more times. Sorry. He had 15 points 2 times, playing a top 10 defense 10 times. Sorry, oh my gosh, 5 times. And he is a little, I want to say he's older. He's just turning 25 this summer, so I know, like we said about Bucky, running back age goes quick. So, honestly, I think I would be more about to sell Kyren Williams. Unless, like, you are in a championship contender team where you know your top 3 going to make the playoffs for the championship. But other than that, I would probably just sell him because I don't know if he's going to. We're back from our commercial break. But in my opinion, I would probably sell him unless I know I'm going to win a championship this coming season. Because, like I said, I don't think he's going to get extended. I think we're just going to play him out to his contract until he's done, and then maybe we'll tag him. But I don't see that being a possibility either. And if he's on a Sean McVay offense, I cannot see him staying as a top running back in the league. I know Keep Trade got at him at 12, but like I said, the yards are there, the touchdowns are there, the attempts are there. So buy with caution, I guess.
Also, no one really believed in him, even when he was doing well the first 1 or 2
Oh,
years.
yeah. Well, he was a. Well, that's the other thing. Like the Rams have drafted 2 running backs later in the round. Last year was I'm drawing a blank on his name. Shit, sorry. The Michigan running back that we drafted, Blake Corum. They drafted him in the 3rd round, which is higher than the other 2 running backs on our roster right now, which is Jaquiz Hunter, which got drafted this season from Auburn. He was a 4th round pick. And I've been hearing a lot of good things from him. Plus, I don't know if this has anything to do with it, but the Rams GM Les Snead, he graduated from Auburn, so there could be some connections there. And him himself, he was a 5th round draft pick out of Notre Dame 3 years ago. So I don't think they fully saw the potential that has arisen, but good for Kyron.
Let's just do the Bucky Irving trade.
All right.
Yeah. So basically, Bucky Irving was traded with Jameson Williams for the next 3 firsts, so 26, 27, 28, and a 28 second. So 3 firsts and a 28 second. Quite a large move for Bucky Irving. I think it's fair. You're taking a chance on somebody, and when you take a chance on somebody, you have to give up those draft picks. Mind you, the person you traded for this is going to be a contender regardless. So those picks, most likely, maybe 28 will be like a mid-round first. But other than that, he's slated to make the playoffs, so it's going to be pretty late.
I was just saying on my list, I wrote down late pick for each year.
Yeah. So it's not too much. I think this snap count will still remain at 50 to 60%. I know at the end of the year there was probably 3 out of the last 4 games he had 70+% share rate, but I think it's going to still continue to be around the 50 and 60 that it was normally throughout the year, just because they still have what's his face? Rashad White, and then they, for some reason, they still get the ball to Sean Tucker. I mean, Sean Tucker did his thing last year too. Even when Bucky was out and Rashad White, I think he had almost a 200-yard game, 150 something yards. So.
Yeah, Buccaneers fans love him too.
Buccaneers fans love him too. So but anyways, obviously Bucky Irving is the most talented one. Those one cuts are really, really fascinating. They just kill defenses. He's just so quick about it, and he can run through arm tackles easily, and that's a really big thing for him. I would give a little edge to the team too, who got all those draft picks, just because draft picks are a little bit more, wanted. And if Bucky Irving gets hurt, a running back getting hurt, that's major. You're gonna get fucked. Sorry, it happens. It's Dynasty League. I've had it happen to me before, so it happens. So he looked good breaking through the tackles. He has great vision. He actually led the league, or was 4th, I believe, in the league with 62 forced missed tackles, running through arm tackles easily. Obviously, now is the time to go in for him, just because you'll have him for the next at least 3 to 4 years if he doesn't get injured, and just buyer beware with him. With most trades, though, especially when you're giving up so many first-round picks, that's your team basically. You have to sometimes you have to be careful, sometimes you have to be the risk. Me, we're going to talk about this next episode. I'm definitely a risk taker, and I go more for the the player instead of the actual what I guess experts say. Who's an expert? Football? Get out of here. We're all doing our best. So anyway, comparison, honestly, there's a couple of them that I would say. James Robinson, he had 1,200 yards his first year and kind of slipped from there. And then you got Tyler Algier. He did the same thing before they got Bijan Robinson. And then also Antonio Gibson. They all had 1,000 rushing yards. Those those first 2 years, and then they just kind of dipped off because they decided to get a new running back. One thing, I don't think the Bucks are going to draft a running back anytime soon, like especially in the first like 3 rounds. So I think they're safe there. The other ones, like you couldn't pass up on Travis Etienne at the time. You couldn't pass up on Bijan Robinson, obviously. And then for Antonio Gibson and Redskins, I mean, like it was whatever. Like Redskins, or I'm sorry, Commanders, were in like a bad situation, so they needed to do something.
I know that we didn't really take notes about it, but in that trade, what do you think about Jameson Williams?
Jameson, so like Jameson's a hit or miss.
Yeah, I'm not too thrilled about him.
Yeah,
like so I was trying to figure out what in this trade.
Yeah, like what is he worth in this trade? Because Bucky's obviously worth like.
I was thinking the 2 firsts and the second.
Yeah,
for Bucky, and then so maybe the late 28 first maybe for JMO.
Yeah,
because I guess technically he would be. See, I don't even know where I would put him for like what he would be for target shares, because I mean, yes, he is the wide receiver too, but in my brain, like it would go. Wow, don't know blank on. They're Amon-Ra. Yeah, Amon-Ra St. Brown. He's obviously going to get majority of the targets. And honestly, I think Jahmyr Gibbs is going to get the second most shared targets, and then
especially if that new offense coordinator coming in. Yeah, who knows what they're going to do?
Yeah, who knows with the
because obviously, no offense to Dan Campbell, I know he's not really a fan of him. I'm a fan of him in the way that he can lead a team. He's not really expertise for offense or defense. He's just a leader. So like. He's going to rely on that offense coordinator to do the work for him, and that's what Ben Johnson did. Thank God we got Ben Johnson.
But honestly, that's my kind of fear of the Lions now, is because I do agree with you. Dan Campbell is a really good leader. I'm not sure what he is on the X's and O's thing. I know a lot of the gambling on the fourth downs was Ben Johnson, for sure. But it'd be a very interesting year to be a Detroit Lions fan. Mm-hmm. And but the other person I was going to mention that will definitely take targets away from Samuel Porta.
That's true.
He might have a rebound year, which I don't think he had a terrible year last year, but
he just didn't get the touchdowns.
A lot of people have been souring on him. And maybe we'll do a video about him soon.
Yeah. So like, his 10 touchdowns was amazing the rookie year. You don't get that from a tight end right off the bat. So and then like when it dips that much, where he gets only like 2 or 3, then it's just like, that's such a hard thing.
I mean, he still had the targets and the receptions and the yards, but that's what gets you points, is the touchdowns. We had 2007 Jerome Bettis on our team.
You have anything to add to the trade besides the Dream piece?
In the scenario that the team traded for Bucky, I am fine with it. He is kind of a contender. I would say maybe top 4 in our league. But if this was my team currently is not that great. I definitely would not have done it. It's a little just too rich for even like a mid-tier team. I feel like the value is fair, but it just wouldn't make sense for someone in my shoes.
Yeah. And we do have to mention that we're actually in a 14-team dynasty.
Yes, 14-team league.
Yeah, so usually it's like 12, but we actually have 14 people in our team. So like Bucky, has a little bit more of a hit for him, just because like if you get that player and he goes off, like you're cool. You're good.
And I feel like the times I've been talking about Bucky, people are probably thinking I'm down on him. Yeah. I'm not. Yeah. Running backs always worry me. For sure. So I can't fully, obviously, like I will commit to some, but it's hard for me to pull triggers on running backs and trades.
And I'm going to go over it next episode, but I took the dive and I went for Hampton Hard. So like we'll see how that works out for me too. So it just depends on like who you believe in and like what risk you're willing to take for that. All right, so like we have a vacant team in our league. We haven't filled it yet. We're about to fill it. It's only one team, and their team actually isn't bad because they have so many tradable pieces. The only problem is they don't have very many draft picks. So I'm going to read out like a list of players that are tradable on their teams. Like you can at least get something for them, and then we'll go from there. So this person has Kirk Cousins, Justin Fields, Jameis Winston, and Deshaun Watson. Then he has James Conner, J.K. Dobbins, Alvin Kamara, and Christian McCaffrey. Go figure. The 2 running backs we talked about. He has Amari Cooper, Darnell Mooney, Michael Pittman, JSN, and Courtland Sutton. And then for a tight end, big piece, Trey McBride and Dallas Goedert. The only remaining picks that he has is a 2025 fourth, a 2026 second, and then he has all of his picks for 2027 and 2028. So for our Dynasty League, we also do 3 years in advance. So it'd be this year, obviously 2025, and then you can trade your 2026, 2027, and 2028 picks. So he has all of his 2027, 2028 picks. It's just the first 2 years are kind of you got to scratch and claw, but I mean, like they have tradable pieces.
He's going to have to sell heavy,
yeah,
to stay afloat.
Yeah, and like it sucks because he doesn't have his first round pick, but it's not that bad. Like it's like you can do something with this. I've seen way worse teams coming in, and like this guy, whoever's going to come in, should be able to do pretty good with it.
I feel like he screwed that quarterback.
Yeah,
like I couldn't see anybody trading for any of these quarterbacks. I mean, most of them aren't even starters.
I can only see Justin
Fields just because he is a starter.
Well, that, but also because of his running, and like I think the Jets are going to fall in love with his running, and I actually think that Breece Hall is going to have a big year just because Justin Fields is the quarterback, and they're going to run heavy. And of course, Garrett Wilson. We just found out like 2 minutes ago that he got a huge deal, 4 years, 130 million, 90 million guarantee. So he's going to be there for a while, and that's their main attraction, obviously. So it's going to be him and Breece Hall running that show, kind of like the Jameer and Amon-Ra, pretty much to me. Anyway, so like I'm just gonna go over like a little thing of what I would do if I took over that team. I would 100% try to keep JSN. I'm huge on JSN. JSN I think is going to be like a top 10 receiver the next 10 years possibly. Like I think he's going to do a lot. The first thing I would do would unfortunately trade McBride. Tight ends are very hard to get, but I feel like he would be worth at least a late first this year, so he can get a pick in this year, and also a future first, maybe 2027, maybe 2028, so you can start there. And then you can also like pair him with Justin Fields. You can pair him with one of those other receivers or running backs that are like on the cusp, where it can just bring the trade over just a little bit, where it's like, yeah, I can give up 2 firsts or like a little bit more for that. Let's see here. For a late pick this year, if he does do that, it would be like Matthew Golden would be there, Jaden Higgins would be there, Luther Burden would be there, possibly Caleb Johnson, and then of course one of the 2 tight ends, Tyler Warren or Colson Mullen. Depends which one you love. Of course, I'm rooting for Colson Mullen, but who knows who's going to win that one. And then also I put this just because like I don't know. I just like Cam Scatterby, so like he might be one that I would take as a late first as well. If you're going to trade for like a late first for this year with McBride. The rest of them, just walk up on seconds, thirds. Just try to get as many picks as you can, just to get this vacant team going. And then even with like an early second that you can trade for one of those people, I would honestly go for Cam Ward. I hear nothing but good stuff about Cam Ward. He's putting in the practice. He's putting in the hard work. He's in training camp at 5 a.m. almost every day. He's working with every receiver. He's complimenting his receivers. He's trying to get everything down. So I'm kind of a little believer in Cam Ward, where if I was this team, obviously their quarterbacks are, not so good. Like Kirk Cousins could potentially take over Phoenix, versus like
he's going to get traded
or does something. But anyway, like I would go for a Cam Ward and just kind of see what happens from there. Because I got him in the second round in mind. Like if you get him in the second round, it's not that big of a loss. Like you took a chance. You took Cam Ward, see what would happen. Rookie quarterback coming in, he's going to start. He's going to run. He's going to get those rushing touchdowns. Coming into a new offense, everything is brand new in Tennessee. So I think Cam Ward would be like the perfect person to get to team up with that. So that leaves you with JSN, Cam Ward, and whatever rookie that you believe that you want. All the ones that I mentioned: Matthew Golden, Jay Higgins, Luther Burden, etc. And then just build upon those picks after that.
I agree with most of the stuff you said. I will probably push back and just say I would just trade everybody on this team.
Even JSN?
Even JSN, because that is the most valuable piece you have, which is fair to keep.
Yeah.
But I just can't see. It's just going to take too long to even rebuild.
Yeah.
Like you're going to have to already wait 2 years for a first rounder. There's not too many people you're going to get a first rounder for on here, besides maybe, obviously, JSN, but maybe Michael Pittman. He's very targeted. We'll see. Hopefully, Anthony Richardson doesn't start this year. But I will say, which he talked about Trey McBride earlier. We didn't mention that this league is not a tight end premium league, so his value does kind of decrease a little bit just because it's not a premium. You might be able to get 2 firsts in a non-premium league, but I'd assume they'd both be low to mid-tier. Maybe you could just get a one higher one. I thought you could get a top 5 pick for him.
Exactly. That's why I said like this year you get like a late first, pick one of those rookies because I think the rookie class is great this year, especially at the like end of the draft. Like pretty much after like 1.05 to that 2.05 range is like hit or miss. Like they could be good, they could not be good. It could work out either way. So getting a late first and then also teaming up that second with one of the other players. The only reason why I said keep Jason is because you don't have your first round pick anyway. So like you can keep him for that year, and then if he's still obviously I think he's just gonna be great anyway. So next year he does great.
I mean, his value,
trade him for picks.
Yeah,
for next year.
His value definitely can still rise, but man, I don't know. I'm just looking through here, and it's like all the quarterbacks that we mentioned. I know Justin Fields is a starter, but everyone else the shelf life is like a year or two. Yeah. Same with the running backs, honestly. Like, I mean, the youngest, most successful one is probably James Conner. I'm not a huge fan of him. And they did draft Trey Benson pretty high last season. But J.K. Dobbins is even in the league still?
I think he is. I think he signed with Cleveland, I want to say.
Denver.
Okay.
Denver. Yeah. That's what it was.
Yeah. But, and then his knees obviously fucked up too, just like Nick Chubb's, I guess. I don't know if it was the same year or not, but it was the same year for Chubb.
So it was 3 startable running backs. There's James Conner, Christian McCaffrey, and Alvin Kamara, and they're both getting up there in age, and 2 of them have injury issues. So I don't know. Like I feel like, I mean, I definitely would not sell JSN low. You definitely could get
at least
2 firsts.
Yeah, and one of them has to be like top 5. That's my thing. Yes. Like it has to be top 5.
Because he's gonna. How do you feel about Sam Darnold on the Seahawks, though?
Oh, does he have it?
No. I'm saying that's their quarterback.
Gotcha. I don't think it matters with Jason specifically. I think it matters with DK Metcalf. I think he needs a quarterback.
Well, my thing is, I mean, I'm not a big fan of Darnold or Geno, but I feel like Geno has like a way quicker read and release than Sam Darnold. So that might be an issue because their offensive line is trash. And that's why both their running backs get hurt, which kind of leaves us to a couple more running backs. I just wrote down the Seahawks running backs backfield. Weirdly, Zach Charbonnet and Kenneth Walker had about the exact same stats. And Kenneth Walker, let's see, I wrote it down. How many games did he miss? He played in 11. But it's so weird that they had the exact same stats. So Zach Charbonnet had 135 rushes for 569 yards, 8 touchdowns. And Kenneth Walker had... Oh, there. Come on. I guess I did not write that down. But they were about the same. So I'll just skip to the receiving targets. So Zach Charbonnet had 52 targets, 42 receptions, 340 yards, and 1 touchdown. And Kenneth Walker in the 11 games had 53 targets, 46 catches, 300 yards, and 1 touchdown. I have a lot of negative notes about their O-line more than about their running backs.
Sometimes that counts. Like that's
yes.
Thing that,
and I feel like that's what is Kenneth Walker's issue because I do think Kenneth Walker is a pretty talented back.
I do too, and I believe in Zach Charbonnet too.
Yeah, I like both.
Yeah,
I mean his value went down when he went to Seattle, but that was like honestly my biggest negative for both. That's just watching a little bit of film and how bad their offensive line is, and I feel like they never address it.
Yeah, just like America until this year.
And I mean, Kenneth Walker is coming up to a contract year, so that's a big issue for him. I think I do. I don't think they're going to re-sign him because
they have Charbonnet.
They're
putting up the same stats.
Yeah. They have Charbonnet, and they're going to re-sign Jason. I know Cooper Kupp probably won't be there during that time. Who's their tight end?
Does he still know about it?
Maybe. I feel like they traded for somebody as well.
I feel like they traded for somebody or did something.
Yeah.
I don't think it matters. I don't think they're going to be good this year.
No. Worst team in the division.
Worst team in the division. I can agree.
But yeah.
Maybe the Cardinals.
Nah. I think the Cardinals would be surprised team.
They might be surprised. Yeah, I mean, it's the NFL. You never know. Like, it's, doing our best.
But I honestly think out of the two running backs, I know I didn't really run down them too much because I guess I did not write down my stats correctly. I think this year is a big year more for Zach Charbonnet. I think this is his year to lose the starting future job.
Mm-hmm. So I see that.
So I would buy some of Zach Charbonnet stock, and I would sell Ken Walker while he's still considered, what would you say, like top 12 running back in the league?
Yeah, if he's not injured.
Yeah.
And like he's pretty consistent when he's playing. So.
I do like Ken Walker.
Yeah, I do too.
Just yeah.
The other two running backs we wrote down, I don't think we really need to go, was Derrick Henry and
Joe Mixon.
Oh, Joe Mixon. Yeah, like they're just like at the end. So like I'm a huge fan of King Henry. Like he obviously is going to do well regardless. Like the worst thing that happens to him is his foot gets injured, and then he misses like 3 or 4 games. But you can't really trade him, and you can't really, unless you're going for the championship, you can't really trade for him either. Like there's no writing answer.
Yeah,
like,
you would definitely have to overpay for Derrick Henry.
Yeah.
Closer to the trade deadline,
or you would have to sell him for less than what he is actually worth. So it's like it's just not good.
Yeah.
So but I still believe he'll get like at least 1,200 yards, at least 10 touchdowns. He's still gonna like power his way in there. So
I still think he would be on the Ravens longer than Joe Mixon will be on the Texans.
That too. Yeah, I can see that.
Because he has his contract ends in 2028. A lot of dead money next year and in 2027. So I don't think they're going to just cut him because it just doesn't make sense to me. Because billionaires, they don't care about the money. Yeah. But I want to say in 2027, Derrick Henry's dead money is going to be like $24 million. So you might as well just keep him unless he just decides to retire. But after the 27th season, they could right out release him and not pay any penalties.
And we've already seen it when he does get injured. They try to put in any back that they can, and they just can't get it going. Yeah. Like it's just not possible. Like Henry is meant to be that guy, and like they just haven't found anybody yet. And if I'm not mistaken, I don't think they got anybody this year either. So like
not off the top of my head.
Yeah. So I don't think like they have any like backups that are just gonna like boom and then be there and just take over for what he's missing. But
I'll do a quick Google on that.
Work Google.
To avoid silence.
Of course, you didn't go to Detroit.
Well, it's not out yet. So I went to roster.
Oh, gotcha. I think there's a website called, I use it sometimes, called ROAds, and like they give you a good depth chart of like, it's kind of like, of course, somebody doing their own depth charts, but it's pretty, sometimes pretty accurate.
So they're, wow, they have Cooper Rush. So their running back room is Rasheen Ali, which I believe they drafted him last season, like a 6th round. Obviously, Derrick Henry, Justice Hill, Marcus Major Jr., never even heard of that guy. Keontae Mitchell, he did have some success last season. He tore his ACL, I believe, last year, though. Some guy called Son Notch. Never heard of that guy either.
Well, shout out to those two guys, Marcus Major Jr. and Son Nitch.
Yeah. Well, yeah, so Derek in Lamar's backfield. And maybe Cooper Rush.
All right, so that's basically all we have today. Next week, we're going to do receivers, and also I'm going to go over like a little trade thing that I've been working on. I feel like it's kind of necessary to teach you, or like, just kind of give you like what I think and then what other people think. And like, honestly, I think I lose most of the time. And like, but I don't know, I can explain my theories and how I think about things compared to the other people that I've seen. But stay tuned next week. And once again, this was Doing Our Best, DOB Dynasty. Thanks for tuning in.